here. Mary Beth from Dread Central. How are you guys?
Good,
Good, how are
thank you.
you?
Great. So my first question for both of you, and I'll start with Natalie, is what is your relationship with vampire movies, media before you came onto this project?
Well, I've always been a fan of them. I think that they're always like sort of great set pieces. They're always like very kind of theatrical and like dramatic, but it also kind of they're scary and the sort of I'm a huge fan of like the sort of scares and the thrills and the gore of it. So I'm like I think it's sort of kind of ticks a lot of boxes. It's sort of action, but romance and violence. It's like all of it is kind of great. I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of vampire movies.
And Thomas, what about you?
Mhm. Um, I guess I just really love there's something there's like an age to a vampire. There's like a wisdom, but it's abused and I don't know, do I get
I just say that other answer again.
that? I don't know, yeah,
Well,
there's something very like sexy about vampires. I don't know what it is. It's the angle. It's the age, it's the way they carry themselves, it's a mystery, it's the yeah, it's all that stuff.
and so in playing a vampire, how was that channel? Like, how did you channel that into your creation of your vampire character and like a backstory maybe you had in mind for your character, Thomas?
Yeah, it was really fun to play with Jess on kind of where he's come from and what's kind of led him to this point. Which I really enjoyed, and it did give a lot of context and did inform the character in the movie. Um, but yeah, I guess on the thing I really held on to was first establishing his posture, how he stood, how this old person who's lived throughout the years and seen so much, how he would hold himself, and then kind of went from there. And I always like to think about this vast knowledge at the back of his brain, his like all kind of all knowing. Um, and that kind of like coming through just his eyes
Yeah.
rather than his mouth. And I think that did kind of set up set up the kind of foundation for Walter.
Cool. And then, Natalie, what was your approach like to creating Evie's character? Because you really imbue her with a lot of amazing kind of emotion and the way you portray her. So, what was it like approaching that character for you?
Well, the first thing was, I mean, I immediately, like, we're both kind of artistic people. So I think I just connected with that sort of obsessive kind of like or passion for the thing that you love. And so, but obviously I didn't have the skill set that Evie has. And so I went and had lessons about
Oh, really?
with on ceramics. I had an incredible teacher who sort of got me kind of understanding how to throw clay and how to like the process that it comes into creating ceramics and the frustrations and the you can't have attachment to it because you go through all these phases and it still will explode in the kiln, so you can't be too attached. And so to actually become really expertly great at it like is a real skill. And so it was, first of all, that was the one thing I was like, I want to be able to like understand that process. And I got really into it. I actually really enjoyed it. And I made a couple of really impressive bowls that are on my
Did you?
kitchen table. Yeah. So there
It's
was that.
amazing.
Um,
Did you paint them?
I glazed them. Yeah.
Mm.
Do proper glazing. It was really cool. And then, but another ways of approaching her, I mean, that I think I just really kind of try to draw from my own lived experience, of just like being, at times a struggling artist, like feeling like you're kind of out in this fight on your own sometimes, or feeling like the world around you doesn't always understand you and things like that. I think that really helped me inform um inform me about like, well, help me approach Evie. But I also liked to, and it's kind of like a geeky thing that I like to do sometimes, is create like collages of images and things that tell me her story before I meet her, or before we meet her. And so I had a whole little book that had like pictures of like her family and family pictures. They're just like random pictures off the internet.
That's so
And then
cool,
like,
though.
yeah, like her interests and like what does her apartment look like, and what does the things that she likes and her friends. And you know, I just like to create a sort of world that she lives in before, you know, we kind of meet her. And weirdly, my little book ended with like receiving an email. So that was like where my book ended. So it was kind of like the beginning of this film. So
That's amazing.
I had a lot of fun collaging. I did a lot
Mood
of
boards,
collage.
vision boards.
Yeah, and I know everyone's like, yeah, you can do like a mood board online, but I like a physical
Yeah.
book, and I can flick through it and I could take it to set with me and be like, I need to, you know, and like creating music or songs for her that she would listen to like chill out, or how when she's running, and having playlists and things like that. That was sort of how I approached her as well.
Amazing. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.